Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. One option to send Jonathan Kuminga to would be the Orlando Magic, where the Warriors would receive two players, one being a promising youngster, and one first-round pick and 3 second-round picks. The Golden State Warriors are still dealing with the Jonathan Kuminga situation, but they could finally move their young star to the Orlando Magic in a last-ditch effort. In what has become a defining drama of the 2025 Warriors offseason, Golden State finds itself at an impasse with restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga. Efforts to reach a contract settlement and even negotiate a sign-and-trade have failed so far. We have even floated conceptual trade scenarios that cast Kuminga as the centerpiece in multi-team exchanges. But nothing has happened yet, and finally, there could be some light at the end of the tunnel. Now, speculation swirls around a bold final that could involve the Orlando Magic, an organization eager to invest in young talent and future stars like Kuminga. While the focus of the mock trades didn't explicitly mention the Magic, insiders have strongly hinted that Orlando's youth-first philosophy and depth of tradable assets make them a viable candidate if the Warriors enact a last-ditch maneuver to move on from the young forward. Whether such a deal comes to fruition remains to be seen, but it would offer a dramatic final chapter in Kuminga's stalled saga. Let's dive into what the trade could look like and how it plays out. Orlando Magic receive Jonathan Kuminga. Golden State Warriors receive Jonathan Isaac, Jace Richardson, 2032 first-round pick, ORL, 2028 second-round pick, 2029 second-round pick, 2032 second-round pick. Golden State Warriors finally move Kuminga and bring back a nice return. Let me paint the scene. After months of contract drama, discomfort, and pedestrian fit, the Golden State Warriors finally pull the plug and move Jonathan Kuminga, and it's a solid last-ditch return. Jonathan Isaac, still a high-tier defender averaging elite defensive metrics, 5.4 ppg, 4.4 rpg, 0.9 spg, 1.1 bpg, is the long-term glue piece, while Jace Richardson brings the kind of hustle and perimeter IQ that every Kerr lineup craves. Then, you layer in 3 future second-rounders plus that juicy 2032 first-round asset, and suddenly, the Warriors haven't just replaced potential upside with usable talent, they've reloaded smartly. The contract structure here looks cleaner, too, giving Golden State breathing room should Stephen Curry need rest or shocker signings arise deep into the season. Meanwhile, Kuminga, despite flashes of promise, simply never gelled under Kerr's ball-and-motion offense. His 2024-25 numbers, 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, 2.2 assists on a 45.4% clip, tell us he can score, but his fit was clunky. The Warriors don't value Kuminga but also want to stay in championship contention, so adding a two-way forward and a 19-year-old guard makes sense. Neither is on the level of Kuminga, but they could make an immediate impact in Steve Kerr's system, and the picks add future flexibility. A last-ditch trade idea that gives each team what they are looking for. When you peel back the layers of this swirling offseason drama, it all comes down to timing and leverage, and the Warriors are playing both with efficiency. By rebuffing the overtures from Sacramento and Phoenix and standing firm behind either their structured 2-year, $45 million offer or the $7.9 million qualifying path, Golden State has ensured nothing leaves the building cheaply. If Kuminga ultimately gets moved, it'll be for win-now assets, a proven shooter, a seasoned floor spacer, or even a playmaking guard that fits next to Curry and Butler, not a hasty deal born of frustration. And should that right offer never come? The Warriors have positioned themselves to pivot, either with Kuminga back on the roster or with the financial room to chase the next big fish. Meanwhile, but maybe swap meanwhile for on the other side of the court for a little flavor, the Orlando Magic are still cooking up something delicious in the Eastern Conference kitchen. The real story is building, layer by layer, around Banchero, Wagner, and Bane. If Orlando can slip another two-way wing, someone like Kuminga, into that rotation, it would be a masterstroke. Add a rising athletic perimeter defender with offensive upside, and suddenly you've got a backcourt that breathes defense and spacing, perfect harmony with Banchero's craft, Wagner's IQ, and Bane's scoring bursts. Warriors could take advantage of Thunder's success by poaching young player. This could be a long-term play. As the Golden State Warriors look ahead to a time where superstar Stephen Curry will have retired, it seems as though, unfortunately, a full-blown rebuild will be in order. While it will be an incredibly difficult task to revitalize an organization that has for so long centered around one player, they could have the opportunity to take advantage of a rival's success, as it is probable that the Oklahoma City Thunder will have trouble extending young guard Cason Wallace at the expiration of his rookie contract. Wallace, 21, played a significant role in the Thunder's championship run last season, but, as a result of the team's long-term commitments to its stars, there could be an undeniable opportunity available for the Warriors in just 2 off-seasons. Cason Wallace could have a Kuminga-like impasse when it's time for him to be extended. Wallace, through 2 seasons with Oklahoma City, has already cemented himself as one of the most important pieces on his team's roster. In his first season, he made the NBA All-Rookie second team, capitalizing on his effective bench minutes for the best team in the Western Conference. Moreover, in his second season, he took a large stride forward, averaging 8.4 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 2.5 assists while getting significant time as the starting shooting guard for a championship-caliber team. While his shooting percentages took a dip as he took on more usage, Wallace still projects as a reliable ball handler and capable defender, meaning that his value will likely skyrocket as he continues to develop. Yet, the Thunder have already seen some of the resultant constraints of their success this offseason. They signed MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to a behemoth 4-year, $272 million contract extension that will begin in 2027. Moreover, they also both signed both Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams to 5-year, $240 million rookie contract extensions. With a roughly combined $750 million granted to their Big Three until 2031, it is quite possible that the organization will have great difficulty in retaining their other young players, such as Wallace, when the time comes. Although Wallace does not have the scoring potential that Kuminga does, his role on such a juggernaut of a team will likely place him in high demand when he hits restricted free agency in 2027. While it is impossible to know what sort of spot the Warriors will be in as an organization at that time, it is likely that they will be seeking an influx of young talent as their larger contracts begin to come off their books. Therefore, Wallace could be a perfect sign-and-trade, or offer sheet, candidate for Golden State when the time comes. Warriors now quietly eligible to make blockbuster move that will shock the NBA. You just never know. Things have been moving incredibly slowly for the Golden State Warriors this offseason, with headlines surrounding the franchise currently starting and ending with the restricted free agency of Jonathan Kuminga. Yet while Kuminga's future and the franchise's expected subsequent signings are claiming the attention, a certain detail was overlooked last week in what could become the most important part of Golden State's next 6 months. The Warriors are now eligible to trade Jimmy Butler. As of August 6, the Warriors are now eligible to trade Jimmy Butler following his blockbuster acquisition from the Miami Heat in February. That marked 6 months from the day Golden State acquired the 6X All-Star, but his trade ineligibility stemmed from the huge 2-year, $111 million extension that he signed upon his arrival, rather than the trade itself. That extension is significant to the point where Butler won't hold a lot of value on the market. Not that the Warriors will be looking to shop him anyway, given the veteran forward completely reshaped their season from lottery-bound disaster to taking out the 2-seed Houston Rockets in the first round of the playoffs. However, that's not to mean that Butler and his contract won't be an interesting piece to monitor in the event that Golden State have tangible negotiations with rival teams on superstar players. Take Giannis Antetokounmpo, for example, whose future isn't completely guaranteed at the Milwaukee Bucks, with the likelihood of a trade soaring if the franchise gets off to a poor start next season. If the Warriors want to acquire Antetokounmpo as has been long dreamt, then Butler is going to be the easiest path to matching salaries before you get into the abundance of young players and picks they'd also have to give up. Then you have another superstar who Golden State have been linked to for over 18 months, LeBron James. The 4X MVP's future at the Los Angeles Lakers has also been a significant source of speculation this offseason, with the Warriors again mentioned as a team with some level of interest. Again, reaching James' $52.6 million salary would be best achieved by using Butler's contract. The teams would then have to haggle over picks, but James' no-trade clause does give the acquiring team some sort of leverage in that scenario. The Warriors are from giving up on Butler or looking to move on from him, but there is a level of upgrade that can now be explored in the coming months that they didn't necessarily have access to before last week. Cold hard Moses Moody truth Warriors fans must accept. He might not be what they hope he is. As the Golden State Warriors have sought out a potential sign-and trade for restricted free agent Jonathan Kuminga this offseason, their unwillingness to include young wing Moses Moody in any trade discussions has essentially made a deal impossible. Yet, although Moody took large strides forward this season into becoming a valuable 3-and-D player, the Warriors must accept that it is highly possible that he never fully becomes an elite perimeter shooter, severely harming his value as a potential starter going forward. If things do not go exactly according to plan, it is a real possibility that Golden State may have made a massive mistake this summer in opting to hold on to Moody. Moses Moody might not be as valuable as the Warriors think. Drafted 14th overall by the Warriors in the 2021 NBA Draft, Moody has been a significant piece in the organization's attempt to build and retain a young core to develop alongside superstar Stephen Curry. Now, with his significant steps in his development this past season, it appears as though Moody's skill set might finally be blossoming. Through 74 games last season, Moody averaged 9.8 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists while shooting 37.4% from beyond the arc. In addition to this uptick in his offensive production, Moody also started a large swathe of games following the Jimmy Butler acquisition, helping to anchor one of the league's best defenses down the stretch of the regular season. Yet, despite his rapid growth on both sides of the floor, Moody's perimeter shot was still largely inconsistent. While his 33.3% shooting clip from beyond the arc in the playoffs can be attributed to a lingering hand injury that was fixed surgically this offseason, Moody was still largely unable to put together a series of remarkable shooting performances throughout the course of the entire regular season. Moreover, in his other 3 seasons with the Warriors, Moody has respectively shot 36.4%, 36.3%, and 36% from three-point range. While Moody looks to be developing into a valuable role player, is a 36% three-point shot viable enough for a 3-and-D starter? Golden State, in allowing their unwillingness to move Moody to effectively prevent any real talks materializing around a blockbuster trade for Josh Giddey of the Chicago Bulls, has expressed a significant amount of faith in Moody's ability to continue taking large strides in his development. Yet, Moody's numbers to this point signify that there is a real possibility he could remain an inconsistent three-point shooter, and, in holding on to Moody this offseason at the expense of a potentially difference-making trade, the organization has taken a massive risk. Therefore, although Moody has already become a cost-effective role player for the Warriors, fans must accept that there is a possibility that that is all he might ever be.